Our desert home is a land of extremes, where the highs are high and the lows are low. Where summer's temperatures can be extreme, yet temperate enough for agriculture to thrive year-round. Among our 9 cities, you'll find both California's highest and lowest ranked per capita income. And while the region is highly recognized for its development of solar, wind, and geothermal energy, when it comes to the valley's greatest renewable resource, our students, the challenges and obstacles are also extreme. More than 95% of all students entering COD require remediation. More than 90% of COD students require financial and other support to attend. When you add to this that only 65% of the college's operating budget is state-funded, the picture becomes clearer. Yes, the challenges we face are many, yet with the right support, so are the successes.
Going to Desert Hot Springs, there wasn't too many art programs and I wasn't involved in arts at all. College of the Desert provided me with a sense of direction, and it really helped guide me on where I wanted to go in my career. So to see myself doing what I'm doing now and being able to work at Coachella and have my own gallery, it's a dream come true. The goal of the Coachella Valley art scene is to really document what's happening in the young art community out here, really shine a light on our scene and to bring it forward and keep it moving, and to really keep younger creative people here in the Coachella Valley working and to create a beautiful creative economy. When I think about it, the screen printing class at College of the Desert ended up changing my entire life. It was a pivotal point in my career and really was a launching point for everything that I'm doing now.
College of the Desert changed my life. I had first a language barrier. I didn't speak any English back in '95. Took some courses in the ESL, and then I took the assessment test and talked to a counselor. The whole time I had support myself, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna have the means to make it through the whole bachelor's. Having an internship, it motivated me to continue and pursue the bachelor's degree, and also to continue and pursue a career in the architectural field. I came back to the desert because that's where I feel the most comfortable.
I started teaching 1 class per semester, and I've done that for the last 21 years. What I see with the students at the College of the Desert is such enthusiasm and such a need to want to take their craft, their understanding, their knowledge, their education to the next level. Simply by talking to them, simply by being a sounding board and having some relevant experience often gets them to the point where they feel like this isn't a mystery. As an employer, I'm constantly encouraged with the students who have participated in my office. Concurrently, I have 3 former College of the Desert students working in my office. And there's only 7 of us, so that's, nearly 50%.
My grandparents were our neighbors, so I would always go with them to their doctor's appointments, to the market, to wherever they went. I think that's how I started to become interested in the medical field. My grandparents, they were always very supportive because working in the fields, they knew that that was difficult and they wanted something better for all their grandchildren. Miss Abby, as an instructor, she was very knowledgeable, but she also made it where you were comfortable enough to really approach her. I think she impacted my life so much that I think that's why we are still good friends, because there was times when I felt like, hey, I can't do this anymore. Trying to work and do nursing school at the same time, because life doesn't stop. I probably would have not become the nurse I am today without her. My grandmother, she still, every time I talk to her, she asks, how am I, how was work? And at the end of our conversation, she always says, I'm so proud of you, and she always starts crying every day that I call her.
I have been at COD as a clinical instructor for about 11 years. Many of the students, as they go through the nursing program, They come from different backgrounds, but the common goal on all of them is to become a nurse. Nursing school is difficult, and having a connection, maybe teacher to student, a personal-to-personal connection can make the total difference on the success of that student. My philosophy of teaching is making nurses with 3 C's. The first C is a caring nurse. Second, compassionate nurse. Third, competent nurse. If you have those 3 C's, you have the perfect nurse. They can take care of me.
After I graduated high school, I got into construction. I did that for the better part of 8 years. Around 2008, I felt a higher calling to serve my country, so I joined the Army. I did that for 4 years, but after that, I felt like I needed to be more at home with my kids. Being in the Army, you spend a lot of time away. I chose College of the Desert because it's where I live, and I heard about the program, and it was very successful. I knew a few people that came from here and are doing really well now.
A lot of our students don't have that stable home environment, or they're single parents, or they're single parents and they're taking care of their parents. I had an extremely good mentor when I was going to school. He was one of my instructors. He was also who I interned under with the state of California. Once he opened that door for me, it's been uphill ever since, but it's been a fun ride. And I want to do that for my students. And I want them to understand that you can get that degree and you can get that certificate. You can achieve goals and dreams that you thought now are impossible. You can do this.
I came to College of the Desert in the summer of 1963. I went to the summer session and took a English 1A class and thoroughly enjoyed it. There are several instructors that all these years later I still remember. And one of them was a Mr. Whitaker, who was my chemistry professor. And we had a small class. It made it more interesting for me, enough so that I became a chemistry major. I became involved in student government. I became student body vice president. It helped me become part of the campus and meet a different group of people. Got me out of the scientific laboratories, the science and biology labs, and met some nice people and a lot of variety. So I really enjoyed it.
I applied to various colleges throughout Southern California, got into all the universities that I wanted to. After I met with my parents and we discussed the budget for college and all the aid I could get at the time, unfortunately, going away wasn't feasible for us. When I entered College of the Desert, one of the career centers spoke with the counselor there, and I basically told her what my goals and objectives were, and she said, let's draw out a path for you where you can be successful in completing 2 years here and transferring to an accredited university when you can get your bachelor's degree. All of the courses that I took at College of the Desert provided me with relevant work experience. The newspaper class was an example. I was able to write stories. I was able to get those stories published. So I had work to show when I was going to my interviews. One of our professors said, who would like to, volunteer to take on an advertising position that was available? By raising my hand, I changed my life. It gave me an opportunity, an experience that I didn't think I was going to have, and it provided me with the relevant experience that I needed to have on my resume after graduating college.
I went to college and majored in fun. Didn't pay off. I was bored in school. There's too much repetition when I was growing up, but it's all changed now. You start thinking, making the student think more. I think that's important. My wife is an engineer, and she wanted to set up an engineering scholarship. That's a problem here. There's not too many engineers.
We couldn't find enough students for the scholarship. We changed it to the nursing scholarship. On the same time frame, we watched the Child Development Center grow, and we were very impressed what is happening here. So we feel very confident to help out.
To get through your education, there's a lot of hurdles to jump, and you certainly don't want to have a hurdle that you can't find a babysitter.
The students, I feel very, very good about that they have a place to bring their children. They don't have to worry about it. They are taken care of in a very, very good way. So this all together is just cannot go wrong, I think.
But I'm big on education because they can take your house, they can take your car, et cetera, but they can never take your education away from you because you can take it wherever you go. And I think that is extremely important. And there's a lot of people that are finding that out, that the only way you can really get ahead is through a good education.
I've seen that the College of the Desert changed many lives for the better. So many people we see in different places because of the college.
Students in the college are your future. Where they go and what they do is going to reflect on you eventually.
It's really a great thing to know that there's people out there that support us. Because of all the donors out there, we have the top-notch tools. We have cars to work on, like the vehicle behind me. That wouldn't be made possible without donors. It's just great to know that we have support. You can change lives.